you've had a lot of players come in and out of across various teams you've been on in your career. Do you recall having as impactful of a midseason addition as Ari has been for you guys this year?
Not midseason, no, certainly. Her ability to impact on both ends. Oftentimes when you make decisions midseason, it's one end or the other typically, and her impact on both ends of the floor. I mean, offensively, her ability to see the floor. The defensive energy and intensity. She never looks like she gets tired. She makes all the hustle plays. She's just relentless, and it's a shot in the arm for our team, and something that we've needed, and she's answered the call. We're very fortunate that we were able to get her.
You and some of your players talked yesterday about the recent defensive focus in some practices. How does it make you feel as a coach when that actually translates to consecutive games against good teams?
It makes you feel good. I mean, it's been a focus all season long, but to finally start to see it come together is rewarding. And I think our players feeling that sense of the reward that comes with buying into being relentless on the defensive end of the floor, the activity level that it takes. Trusting that you can go all out while you're out there, and trusting those guys that are coming in off the bench to continue that momentum. It's just it's rewarding to be able to put back-to-back games together. I didn't feel like the third quarter was our best, especially the start of it. But to put back-to-back games together like this defensively says a lot about this group, and I'm just proud of them.
On the defense, how much did Tuesday's win serve as kind of a proof of concept that when we defend like this, look what we can do?
Yeah, I think it continues to show them. I mean, we've had our moments where we've defended really well. I think we did in Seattle as well. We did for a lot of the game, early, especially against Dallas. The second half, we kind of let down a little bit. But I think when you see the fruits of your labor, when you recognize how it makes your job easier. And the communication, I feel like, has been really good, and that communication breeds confidence. We've been playing with multiple levels of effort, and everybody's just really connected on that end of the floor, and that's what it takes. There are going to be days where we don't shoot it particularly well. There are going to be days where sometimes offensively you don't have it, but there cannot be days where we don't have it defensively, and this group's starting to really, really see that.
Trying to facilitate that trust among the players and just kind of the understanding that players are going to be backing them up, blocking things off and all the stuff that you mentioned there.
Just time and reps. I mean, it's going to take time. It's not something that is innate. It's not something that just happens. It's just like any relationship, you build trust and you believe in one another and you continue to have each other's back, and you step up when your number is called, and our team has continued to stay together, even when it hasn't been pretty. And, they start to see the results of that. And, we've at times looked like individuals on the floor on both ends. But these last few games, we've really looked connected on both ends of the floor. And that's the goal, right? It's not to be where you want to be in September, in May. It's just to continue to grow and continue to take one step at a time. And this group, with the multiple players who have been in and out, you're finally starting to see that. And I give Ari a lot of credit, because Ari's one of those plug and play players, and she comes in and that she's gonna give you everything that she has, and she can set the tone on the defensive end. She can spell Kelsey and Lexi and on the defensive end of the floor, and play bigger than her matchup sometimes. But she came in and was a plug and play player and earned that trust right away.
A week ago, it wasn't so cheery.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, is this a giant step forward for mankind, so to speak? These two wins, I mean, they're both pretty big wins.
It's a step. I mean, certainly. Again, you're looking at 17 games in the season. To more than anything, I think for our players to see the value of what we're doing on the defensive end of the floor. We're still, I feel like, just scratching the surface offensively. I've been much more pleased with our ball movement, our assist percentage. We haven't knocked down a lot of shots, but I feel like we're getting to where we're starting to see the reads. The game is slowing down a little bit. We're starting to make the right play, make the right pass. Shots sometimes just don't fall, but when you can rely on your defense, when you can trust that your defense can carry you through your games, you give yourself a little bit more margin.
little bit bigger picture, just coming off of the high that Tuesday was, can you describe just the poise and the maturity that you saw from your group to be able to follow that up just 2 days later with this, especially defensively?
Yeah, we talked about that. Not having a letdown, right? Like, it's important. It's important for our growth process. Like, that game was great. The Commissioner's Cup, we won a trophy. They won some money. But it doesn't mean anything in the whole scheme of where we want to be. And we've got to take care of business. And so we want to be able to enjoy these moments when they happen and then quickly refocus and reframe. And this is for being, the core group being very young, the veterans on our team are mature and they've been through this. They get it. And you hear Tosh and you hear Sid and you hear Soph in the locker room, communicating that and helping them understand and making sure that when we come out to practice every day, that we're locked in and ready to go and our energy is there. And so I think because we have that great balance, it does allow us to have the fun and enjoy, but also reframe and lock in.
Steph, what have you liked about kind of that four guard lineup? I know some of it's probably out of need with depth right now, but it feels like that's been a successful dynamic the last week or so.
Yeah, I like our ability to stretch the floor, to open things up a little bit more for AB. You've got a guard. There are 4 capable three-point shooters on the floor at once. I like the versatility that it gives us against certain lineups on the defensive end of the floor. Scotty, like my whole career, I've loved kind of a smaller lineup. But at the same time, there are certain matchups that we can't do that against. And I feel like the growth in KK, the Tosh kind of finding her groove already now gives us the flexibility to play differently. And when Didi comes back, the ability to play even bigger with Didi and AB together and be able to play off of one another. Anytime you think about different kinds of matchups, potentially playing in series, you want to have different looks. And I think what we have right now, what we're building, gives us the opportunity to do that.
The technical foul late in the game, just frustrations kind of boiling over. It seemed like Caitlin and the players got fired up and enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I don't know about frustrations boiling over as more to just like making a point. Caitlin said she got me though, so. She just got a bonus.
How you doing, Coach? Kelsey's shooting 50% or higher in 5 of the last 6 games. I asked her, what's been the credit for that? She said good defense. In your sight, how's good defense contributed to her recent hot shooting streak?
Yeah, I feel like anytime you can set the tone on the defensive end of the floor, things just start flowing, right? And good defense our good defense will keep their defense from being able to get set. And so you sometimes start possessions where you put the opponent in rotation. Sometimes you get them scrambling. I think the ability of Kelsey's teammates to recognize how, where, and when to get her the ball has started to kind of come alive, come to fruition. I mean, and again, like it takes time. It takes time. You have Kelsey and Lexi and AB and C that have played together, right? But C's not on the floor. And everybody else has to kind of figure that out. And so I feel like our team is doing a really good job of getting her the ball in spots to be successful. She's doing a great job in her decision-making and being on balance, making reads and making plays. I've been just as happy with her ability to make the right read and facilitate. Always know Kelsey has an opportunity to get hot quickly. But her efficiency, because of the high-quality looks that she's getting and because of her being on balance, has been really good.
We're feeling it everywhere. I kid you not. It's been a focus point in everything we do. Shoot around, practice, film. Defensively, we just want to be as sound as we need to be to get whatever we want offensively. And I think our coaches just make that clear that whenever we can defend and do what we need to do, we can get whatever we want on the other end.
You guys about Ari a lot, but what does it say about her that she's able to come in again and still be this impactful?
That's
just
what we
right
said
away?
to her. We told her.
Game, we said, we're just thankful for you. We thank God for you every single day. I just think her impact, you see it. Even just looking at the plus minus, like plus 26. Like Ari's impact, whether it's scoring, but it's defending, it's getting us into offense, it's making the right reads, making the right pass. I think she's just been the perfect missing piece for us.
Perfection.
For both of you, I think everybody would be interested in hearing how you feel about beating Las Vegas after all this time. You've been through a lot of them.
Yeah, I was reminding the team, I was like, it's been since 2000-something since I've been here. But, on the bright side is that, organizations go through certain things. there's lulls in every part of life, and I think for us in the Fever, it was our time, and I think we kind of deserved it based on our preparation and everything that we had been through prior to this game, and I think you guys got to see what it looked like for us to stay resilient throughout the course of 48 hours. We just played, in Minnesota, and then we got to prepare for this, and you guys got to see what it's like for us to be resilient.
I think Kelsey said it perfectly.
The intensity with which you guys have been playing on the defensive end since that Minnesota game, is that something that just starts at practice? Like, if you made a concerted effort to kind of dial up the intensity of practice and then it translates?
Definitely. I think because of how fast we like to play in our pace, being able to get stops and letting that spark our offense has been great, but that's been something we've been working on all season. I think throughout our games, you've seen that there have been times where we hold opponents to a great points, and then we look at that fourth quarter and all of a sudden they go on a run. And so for us, it's about making sure that we stay consistent throughout the 4 quarters and put 40 minutes together.
Of responding after this last game, that could be a high maybe you don't come off of too easily. What was that moment like coming into tonight's game, not allowing for that to creep in?
Yeah, it was honestly, that's something we talked about. We just made sure that our energy was high, made sure that we were focused, because obviously we know Vegas is a great team and they're a team full of winners. And so for us, it's making sure that we turn the page off of a great Commissioner's Cup success, and then we have to be ready for Vegas, and we were.
Hey, Kelsey, what's up? How you doing? You shot 50% or higher with 5 of the last 6 games. What do you feel like has contributed to that efficient shooting streak?
Defense. It sounds like cliche, man, but I swear, when we are able to be who we need to be offensively, it's because that our defense is fueled by it. Getting deflections isn't going to play in transition. You get to see the best version of players and pros once we get the defensive stops that we need. I think for me, it's just about staying confident and utilizing my teammates to stay in rhythm based on where I need to be. But I think defensively is where you get to guys see us at our best offensively.
Kelsey, the success that you guys had pressuring them in the backcourt, was there anything in particular or unique that you were doing to have that success?
I think that shout out to Breon January. She's been amazing and pivotal to our defensive success, as well as Karima Christmas. They have been pivotal as far as knowing where we need to be and knowing kind of the risk that we could take as far as being young and being vibrant and being young basketball players. And I think getting deflections and just kind of being and mucking it up and making it look ugly for the best of the best is some of the things you got to do. We know that the aces come with heavy hitters, and you can't stop greatness, but you can limit where you can. And I think that's what you guys saw. Just try to be where we need to be, muck it up and make it look ugly.